In the elder days, before crowns were broken and war blackened the skies, there was one realm above all, Ilarion, kingdom of men. From the peaks of Tretocrest to the hills of Talvard, through Moriarlas's forests and the fields of Erastals, Ilarion stood in peace. In Eldenfor, rivers glimmered beneath ancient walls. In Eldarn, the old bloodlines held their wisdom still. Men thrived, united, proud, and strong. But peace is a fragile thing. A shadow stirs in the north, and the age of Ilarion comes.
Kurstar kash op maturs. Maskulat krim, lat kimpuk, lat bakrank, lat krimara ishi ursu, aklat ishi kru.
The hour.
Priest, tell General Grinchak to assemble the troops. Prepare for... Sound the Horde! Let every war beast wake! Summon the legions! My brothers, we have suffered in silence for ages. We were cast out, banished to rot upon this forsaken island. They called us beasts that chained our destiny, but no more. The time has come to reclaim what is rightfully ours. Today, we march to war. Today, we cross the Black Sea and set fire to the kingdoms of men. Their walls will crumble, their kings will kneel, their gods will fall. This is no longer their world, this is the dawn of a new age, the age of orcs. To war.
In the shadow of the Black Cliffs, the King of Orcs readies his war host.
For long years they have rotted in exile, banished to the Forsaken Isles beyond the world of men. Now, the time of waiting is over. The forges burn once more, war drums thunder in the mist, and the dark tide gathers at the shore. Before them lies the dark sea, its waves steeped in old blood and forgotten oaths. Beyond it, Ilarion, the last great kingdom of men. By dawn's first light, the black sails will rise, and the world will remember the age of orcs. Upon the jagged shore, the king of orcs gathers his war host. Exiled for ages, their vengeance has festered in the dark. Now they will cross the dark sea, a place of storms and shadows, where monsters dwell beneath the waves and the dead whisper from the depths. Beyond it lies Ilarion, and with it, the doom of men.
Send the scout. Let no shadow go un.
Their path into Ilarion begins at Terexkolst Pass, where a lone fortress guards the mountain gate. Many have tried to breach it, none have returned. But King Drokvar the Iron Moor does not turn aside. He will grind the stones to dust, slay all who stand before him, and claim Ilarion as his own.
No fear, no mercy. Today we tear down their walls. The age of men is over. Now it is time for the orcs.
Frozen reaches stands Varathorn Castle, heart of the Kingdom of Nord. Its king Hourik rules with trembling hands, and the realm is as fragile as the crown upon his brow. A boy from the high villages comes before King Hourik, breathless with news. Taraxcolt Pass is under attack by orcs. But the king will not believe him. Instead, he sends riders to see the truth for themselves, while the shadow at the pass grows ever darker. The king's scouts rode hard to the pass. And there upon the horizon they saw it, an army vast beyond reckoning, a black tide of steel and flame. Never in their lives had they beheld such a host, and it was marching straight for Varathorn Castle. They had only heard of orcs in the old tales, stories whispered by firelight from a time long before their fathers were born. But those stories are the roots of the world itself. When the Creator shaped the world, he chose 7 guardians to guide and protect his work. One by one they descended from the heavens, bearing the gifts of magic and of knowledge. They taught the firstborn to build, to speak, to tame the wild lands and bring order to the earth. But among these protectors was one whose heart turned against the light, Morwelia. Envious of the Creator's work, she withdrew into the black forests. There she wove her will through shadow and poison, seeking to forge life of her own. Yet her craft was twisted, and from her hand came forth the first orcs. In the ages that followed, some of men's kin delved deep into the mountains, their bodies and hearts hardened into the first dwarves. The other guardians withdrew into the ancient woods, and from their grace was born the kingdom of the elves. But peace would not last. Morwelia's hunger for dominion grew. Her army swept across the world, and men, dwarves and elves were forced to stand as one. For 7 days and 7 nights they fought, until at last Morwelia was cast down. Her body was bound within the heart of a mountain, where to this day she lies in a deathless sleep, guarded for all eternity by a silent giant of stone. When the scouts returned, their words were heavy with dread. A vast host was marching upon them, too great to face in open war. King Haldric's heart faltered. To stand would mean ruin, so he chose instead to abandon Varathorn and lead his people across the mountains, to seek refuge in the realm of his brother, King Alfred. In the heart of the war camp, King Drokvar the Iron Moor gave his command. To his general he spoke but once. Send the war wolves into the mountains, hunt down the fleeing men, and slay them before they reach the safety of another realm. Word reached King Hourik. The war wolves and their orc riders were closing fast. There would be no outrunning them. So he called for his finest warriors. With grim resolve, he bade them turn and hold the pass. It was a sacrifice they understood well, to buy time for the women, the children, and the old, so that some part of their people might yet live. But steel and courage were no match for the hate and bloodlust of the orcs, nor the fangs of their war wolves. One by one the warriors fell, yet they did not falter. They died with honor, buying the time their people needed to cross the mountains to safety. King Drokvar the Iron Moor sent his vast host across the mountains to crush the next kingdom in their path. But he himself did not march with them. With his war sorcerer at his side, he took another road, into the forbidden lands where no light dares linger. There they would wake and unbind their mother, the Dark Queen Morwelia. At last they reached Sundarrow, the stronghold of King Alfric, brother to Hourik. Here the walls were high, the warriors seasoned in battle. For the first time since their flight began, they were safe. And there was hope they might yet stand against the darkness marching toward them. Yet even here, in the safety of Sundaro, King Ulfric did not believe. He laughed at his brother's fears, for the orcs had not been seen in an age. Surely, he thought, this was the work of wild tribes, not the shadow of legend. But the truth came swiftly. A vast black host descended upon their gates, marching in relentless waves. And now Ulfric believed, though perhaps too late. From the walls of Sundaro, the battle for the kingdom began. In the end, King Drokvar and his war sorcerer broke the ancient seals. From the heart of the mountain, Queen Morwelia rose once more, her eyes burning with the shadow of ages. And above Ilarion, The darkness began to gather.
Sound the retreat. We've spilled enough blood for one day.
My lord, the orcs are retreating. Their lines are broken, and the men held strong at the western wall. The castle is safe, for now.
Ready the men. We'll face another raid before nightfall. Tend to the wounded. Reinforce the gates and send scouts. I want eyes on their movement now.
Bring me their crowns, every last one. Let these feeble kings know that no throne stands where my shadow falls. This realm bends to me now.
With the kingdom fallen, King Drokvar the Iron Moor stood amidst the ruins. His gaze turned to the horizon, to the last stronghold of men. There, his conquest would end, and the age of orcs would begin.
How are you feeling, my prince? That was a nasty fall, and your injuries are worse than they look. The healers are doing good.
I'm no prince, old man, just a soldier, fighting for my kingdom, for my king. And I'll stand to my last breath if that's what it takes.
Alexander, you might not know it, but I am certain you felt it. You are the last heir, bound by the blood of Edrin, the first king of men. 1,000 years ago, I was there, when they laid the first stone, when the first castle rose from the earth, birthplace of the first kingdom of men. I remember the banners, the firelight, the oath that bound them all. Everyone was happy then. Laughter echoed through the halls, and the air was thick with hope. They believed the light would never fade. I was there, at the first coronation. I watched as Edarin knelt beneath the silver crown, the first king of men. The sky was clear, the people silent, the world waiting. But Morwelia, one of the 7 protectors of this realm, she grew envious, bitter. Hatred took root in her heart, and she began to weave plans of her own. The finest of the elven blacksmiths forged for him a suit of enchanted armor and a sword unlike any other, blessed by ancient runes, bound to his soul. Not just to guard his flesh, but to guide his heart, to make him a just and noble king. But then, Queen Morwelia came, not alone, but at the head of an army of orcs, black-hearted and merciless. And with them came the things we had never seen before. Twisted beasts born of her sorcery, abominations not of this world. That day we learned what she had become. Adoran raised his banners and summoned the armies of men. At his side marched the elves, swift and deadly. And from the mountain halls came the dwarves, their fiercest warriors clad in iron and oath. Together they stood as one, to face the darkness that Morwelia had unleashed.
For the king!
The men and their allies prevailed. The battle was won and the darkness driven back. But time is a silent enemy. King Edarin aged, grew weary, and at last he passed beyond the veil. A hush fell upon the world. At his funeral, kings and commoners alike came to bid him farewell. Elves sang their mourning songs. Dwarves struck the stone in his honor, and all wept, for an age was ending. After the king's death, peace began to wither. The nobles, once bound by loyalty, turned to ambition. Whispers became schemes, and schemes turned to war. One by one, alliances broke. Blades were drawn not for justice, but for power. And in the end, the great kingdom shattered, splintered into smaller realms, each ruled by pride, not unity. One by one, all who bore the blood of Edarin were hunted, slain without mercy. They feared the golden armor, the sword of kings, feared that another rightful heir might rise. But amidst the slaughter, a brave young woman defied them all. She took the king's bastard child, still swaddled in cloth, and fled into the night. She hid him in the home of her parents, deep in the quiet hills where no shadow dared look. Seeing the fall of honor and the rise of greed, the Council of Wizards withdrew. They vowed never again to guide the hearts of men. The dwarves sealed their halls, vanishing into the stone. The elves turned from the world of men, retreating beyond forest and mist. Alexander, you are of the bloodline descended from the child that brave girl saved all those years ago. The legacy of Edoran lives in you.
Then tell me, what must I do? Where must I go? If this burden is mine, I'll carry it. Just show me the way.
You must find the armor and the sword. Only you can bear them now, and only you can unite what was broken. The fate of all rests on your path.
Sound the horn. Let everyone know. We set up camp here for the night.
At last, the vast host of King Drokvar the Iron Maw and his war sorcerer reached Stormcrow, the final free castle in all of Ilarion, the last nation of men. He would not rest, nor turn aside, until its walls lay in ruin, and his dark queen reigned over every crown in the realm.
dawn tomorrow, we strike the north flank, the southern ridge, and the eastern pass. Every front must fall together, no delays.
Grandfather, I saw them in the forest. Orcs, millions of them. They're gathering. Soon they will come. They'll strike at dawn. I'm sure of it.
My grandson, your courage humbles me, but you must not risk yourself again. You are the heir to this realm. General, ready the defenses, at once!
Tomorrow darkness will come upon us. A storm not of rain or thunder, but of fire and steel. It is our sacred duty to defend and preserve the realm of men. They will try to tear down our walls, our homes, our hopes. But we are not broken. We are the shield that stands between the innocent and the abyss. What comes is not just an army. It is hatred given form. Beasts bred for slaughter, fed lies of domination. They believe we are weak, that we will kneel, that we will forget who we are. But they do not know us. They do not know the strength that lives in this stone, in our... Look around you. Every hand that built this castle, every soul that walked these halls, they live in us. Our fathers' blood carved these battlements. Our mothers' prayers echo in these vaults. If we fall today, that legacy burns. But if we stand, we become legends. We are not soldiers alone. We are blacksmiths and bakers, farmers and kings. Today there are no titles, no ranks, only brothers and sisters who rise as one. We fight not for conquest but for each other, for every child hidden beneath the vaults, for every mother clinging to hope. Fear will whisper, doubt will creep in. You will feel it claw at your spirit, but remember this, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the will to face it. And today we stare into the jaws of darkness, and we do not flinch. The old songs speak of heroes, but they were no different than us. Flesh and bone, breath and will. The world watches us now, not for the banners we carry, but for the fire we carry within. We are men. We are not done. I swear to you all, by crown, by steel, by the blood of my blood, I will not yield. And I ask you to do the same. Stand with me, not behind me. For the breath of the gods stirs only when men choose to rise. There will be a moment in the clash and chaos when all will seem lost, when the line buckles, when hope fades. That is the moment we were born for. Not to survive, but to turn the tide, to break them. Can you see it? The sunrise beyond this night, the sound of children laughing, the silence of peace. That world does not come freely. It is paid for, in sweat, in blood, in defiance, and we are the ones who must buy it.
Now, raise your eyes, grip your blades, fill your lungs, for at dawn we ride not to die, but to live forever in the hearts of those who will remember. Let them come, let them break upon us like waves on rock. We are the kingdom of men, and we do not fall.
Go to Mount Drum. There is a secret passage there, hidden beneath the ash stone. Use it to enter the dwarfs' kingdom, and convince them to join you.
I will go, old man, but I must confess, this course you set before me, I think it has no chance of success.
My queen. A word, please.
Master Vortar, I had not expected to see you in this place. A rare surprise indeed. What business draws you here, unannounced?
Your Majesty, I come not as a rival, but as a servant. I pledge my allegiance to your reign. For now, our interests align.
I have a mission for you, Vortara. Raise me an army. One that will shackle the world in chains. Do this, and you shall prove your worth.
As you command, my queen. The earth shall kneel beneath your shadow. I will forge your army from ash and fear, and they will obey.
And upon the blood-soaked stones, the last king of men fell to his death. With his passing, the age of men was ended, and the shadow claimed the world. From the field of slaughter, King Drokvar gathered the 3 crowns of men. Without pause, he spurred his black steed, racing across the realm to the fortress of his queen, to bring her the news of their final victory.
The world of men is broken, its thrones empty, its kings dead. Their reign is over, mother. Now begins the age of iron and ash.
Now we wait for my brothers to crawl from their hiding, and when I crush them, the creation itself shall kneel to me.
Yet even in the deepest darkness, there will always be light, for good cannot be destroyed, so long as there are still men willing to stand against the shadow. As long as one sword is raised, as long as one heart beats for freedom, there will be hope. We may have lost this battle, but the war has only just begun. We will rise again. We will gather our scattered kin, forge new alliances, and rebuild what was torn down. We will sharpen our blades, harden our shields, and strengthen our will. And when the day comes, we will face the darkness once more, not as the hunted, but as the hunters. We will drive it back into the abyss from which it came, and we will take back our world.